You work with them probably every day. And so we're excited that they provide the leadership that they do. And so today we're really going to talk about understanding agent expectations. And I really don't need any kind of introduction for our team. We have Dr. Lynn Brookings from the Western region, and then we have Carla Bush from the Central region, and Justin Thomas from the Eastern region. And so without further ado, I'll turn the program over to y'all to present.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is great to see you and to see Carla's blue screen desktop. And I say that just to give her a bit of a hard time because she was trying to make sure it worked this morning. Carla, we'll go ahead and just start with this Kahoot real quick. How about that?
That would be fabulous.
All right. So you all know us, and thanks to Dr. Fox for that introduction. Get your smartphone out or whatever you'd like to do. We're going to do a Kahoot because we're talking about agent expectations, and we realize that maybe this may not be the most fun material or presentation you've ever sat through. So we thought we would make a little bit of it into a game. So even if you're not an agent, you still can play. Chris Sneed, Dr. Sneed, I'm looking at you. You can still play. We'll see if you get the answers correct in this round. So there is the pen. And you should be able to, when we get going here, you should be able to see the question on your phone as well. All right, they're still popping in. Mama Mia. That's somebody who does not want to be disclosed if they lose. Dolly has joined us. The good doctor, Chris Sneed is in. The good doctor, Dr. Sneed. All right.
I did that just for you, Justin.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. It looks like, we're still trickling in a little bit. Man alive. This is good. All right. All right. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start this. If you're still logging in and joining the Kahoot, you can get in there, but we're going to go ahead and start this. Who is the best dressed Family Consumer Science Regional Program Leader? And just in case you're not aware, other is really not an option. Now that time is up. Other. Oh, somebody chose other. So this is to get you acclimated. So Dr. Lynn Brookins is the correct answer. She is always the best dressed among us and sets the bar very high for us.
Yes.
All right. Our scoreboard. Mama Barnes, first place. All right. Here's you another question. When is the early registration deadline for the TEA FCS conference? Again, what conference is not exactly the answer? All right. March 13th is correct.
Y'all are doing great.
All right, we've got a new leader. I believe that's Chancey, if I'm reading that correctly. Unless we've got a code name somewhere.
I don't know. I like Spunky. I just like the name.
When is the 2022 Tennessee Extension Conference? This is for David Perrin, Region Director in the Eastern Region, who is chairing it. So I said, let me throw that in as a plug for him. All right, almost everybody's on the same page. It is November 7th through 10th. The first date of the rest of those questions are birthdays of your regional program leaders. All right, Mama Barnes has reclaimed her spot at the top. What does super stand for? I'm really interested to see the spread on this one. We did have a couple of folks who don't know, but they know their contacts are due on March 31. That is right. Nobody chose Brad Greenfield.
Can we click to see who the 2 was?
I wish. Mama Barnes is on fire. True or false? Base programs are optional. All right, counting down, looks like all answers are in, and false is the correct option. We'll dive into that a little bit more as we talk today. How often should you complete a county needs assessment? Every year, every 5 years, occasionally, every 3 years. Let's see if Mama Barnes stays on her heater here. Every year. Good job. 4 players lost their answer streak. Oh, man. All right. I should have an advisor group as part of my annual needs assessment. Everybody's anxiously waiting. True. All right. Very good. All right. Our scoreboard looking good. How often should I report my contacts at a minimum in super? Maybe one of those options, Dr. Brookins, should have been however often my program leader tells me to. November 30th is a throwback for those of you who've been around a while and you used to do your big super day right before your performance appraisal was due. And nobody chose it. So, Spunky has taken the lead.
I knew
True or
that was
false?
a powerful little name there.
I should create an impact statement for my plan program and base program. I should create an impact statement for my plan program and base program. All right. True is correct. Let's see. Spunky has remained at the top. And our last question. How quickly should I return a message, email, or phone call related to work? Let me go ahead and tell you, when I get good and ready to is not the correct answer. I know it's Friday and snow's coming, but you know. All right, within 24 to 48 hours. We did have somebody say right now during this quiz, 2 people. Very good. All right. Lisa, is that Lisa Washburn? Sarah P.
Yes, it is.
Look at her. And number one, who is Spunky?
I am Janet Fox. That was my nickname growing up.
All right.
Little known fact. I don't think many people know that, but anyway.
And well, now we all do.
Well, now we know that, and we really know we are in Fox's facts because she knows all the facts. So Carla, you'll fire up our PowerPoint.
All right. Do you have the right view?
I have the right view. So if you go ahead and click to that next section there. So, we want to just take a little bit of time, and it's been a while since these ancient expectations have been updated. And so we wanted to just share some key pieces. After today's session, we will email out a document that has these points and some further detailed information with it for those of you who like that. If you're taking notes, please do that, but we will also send out information for you to have that is tangible. So a couple key definitions: knowledge area expertise. This is going to be our nutrition and food safety, consumer economics, community health, and human development. So when we talk about a knowledge area expertise, that's what we're talking about in that realm. The individual annual agenda. Many times we fall into the spot of calling it my plan. I've got my plan, but it's actually your individual annual agenda, and inside of your agenda is where you create your plan. And now, new for this planning year that we did, you have your needs assessment module in there as well. And we have those state action agendas in there, the well-being, resources, and resilience that you're planning toward, that shapes how you're doing program in your county. Base programs, they are not optional. It's any FCS program that does not fall under your plan. And you're going to have somebody that comes in and wants you to do something, or an organization that says, can you do a program on XYZ that you don't plan in and you never planned on doing? And that's what base programs is. It's all those things that happen that you were not planning to do that you can capture. I know in Rutherford County, Carla, help me, county director's name, Anthony Tuggle. He calls it butterflies and ladybugs is what base programs are. When people call about butterflies and ladybugs related to agriculture, but it's really anything that you're not planning in your individual annual agenda that you can capture and say that you've done. And then Super 2 is our system for university planning, evaluation, and reporting. It is the 2.0 version. It is no longer the Super Classic, which we have migrated from. So Super is where we do everything. And it is synonymous with Brad Greenfield, for those of you who did not choose Brad Greenfield in the quiz. All right, next slide, Carla. So when we look at planning, many of you answered this correctly. Needs assessment should be done annually. Now that doesn't mean you're going to go out and have this just, massive focus groups and all this different pieces. But what it means is you should be meeting with your advisory group. You should be meeting with them and discussing what are the needs in the county. Are they remaining the same? Are we addressing the needs? Have we moved the mark? Have we moved the needle at all? So you should be utilizing an advisory group. And when you look at that IEP checklist that gets sent out for your annual plan, it does talk about involving your advisory group. And if you look at your performance appraisal, to get a 5 rating on your plan, you have to involve your advisory group for that to be approved as your plan. There's the data and document review piece that's also in the needs assessment module. It's automatically there. This is where you want to capture any and all of those statistics, whether it be, economic, human development, whatever statistic it is, plus anything that notes need in your county. So you can talk about diverse populations and more in there, and that's the place to capture that. And then you have the other strategies such as key informant interviews. You have focus groups, you have observations. And folks, when we look at this needs assessment module and we're talking about doing needs assessment, really what you need to remember is we're not expecting you to write a thesis. Those are 1,000 character limits on those boxes. The key findings is 1,000 character summary, not 1,000 word summary. So we're not looking for you to go through and write a detailed thesis. We just need to know that you have, really assessed the needs in your county, because we are a county-based program in Tennessee, and it needs to make sure that you're doing that. So your annual plan should meet the local needs of a diverse audience in your county. And that's where that civil rights plan comes in as you're doing your plan for the year. And then of course, those base programs, again, those are just any programs that do not fall in your plan of work for the year. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Brookins.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So planning by responsibility. Who are we? 100% FCS agents, split agents, and some of us are 100% SNAP funding. So 100% FCS agents plan their time with 1 to 3 knowledge areas, and you plan for 60% of your time. And the other 40% of your time is the base programming that Justin just spoke of. Split FCS agents are typically our TSU agents, and many of them are 75-25 or either 60-40. And so if you're split, you're planning your time from 1 to 2 of the knowledge areas, and you still have 60% of your time that you're planning, 40% of your time that you're planning in base as well. And our SNAP agents who are TNCEP and FNEP, they will plan 100% of their time in nutrition and food safety knowledge area. Now, implementation. Everybody's expected to implement an annual plan. Annual plans are, Justin just said, derived from the county needs assessment. We expect every agent to be an educator, not a facilitator. And what does that mean? That means that if you are partnering with someone in your county, you are not the hostess, you are not the event planner, you are the educator. So you should have an active role with the program as well. So if it's Dining with Diabetes and you have invited the diabetes educator, the diabetes educator should have a part on the program as well as you have a part on the program. So make sure that when you're having meetings and you're partnering with someone, that you have an active role as an educator, that you're not a facilitator. Remember that. And build and maintain relationships is very important to a thriving program. And these are ongoing. You have to continue networking throughout your career if you want an active, viable FCS program. Utilize volunteers. Even if you don't have a volunteer supported program, think about ways in which you can include volunteers in your program. If you're doing a canning class, invite someone who may not know a lot about canning to come and help you prepare for the program, maybe help you cut up the ingredients, help you measure out the ingredients before the program. Think about ways in which you can involve volunteers in your program. And also remember that volunteerism is a part of your performance appraisal. So it is important that you think of ways in which you can engage volunteers. Finally, manage your resources and assets wisely. A lot of you have fee-based funds, and you're able to utilize those funds for any educational purposes that you like. We just advise that you use those in a professional manner and be resourceful of your funds that you have and any other assets that you may have in the county. If you've spent a lot of money on teaching aids, don't be careless and leave them out at a facility where you may not get those back. So be responsible with the things that you have and you've expended your resources on. Evaluation and reporting, a very important piece to FCS programming or any extension programming to that. Reporting in Super 2.0. I know we all love Super 2.0. We all love Super. It's so super. Be mindful that you should not wait until the very last minute to do delivery. I encourage my folks in the Western region to establish a routine of every other week or monthly, something that works for you, but especially try to get your data in once a month. Do not, I say and I repeat, do not wait until lock date to put your data in. Because if you're thinking you're gonna do that, 95 other counties may be thinking the same thing too. And then the database runs extremely slow and you become frustrated. So try to, set some type of parameters in which you're going to have a standard in which you put your data in. And we encourage you to do it once a month. Also a part of Super, I believe in the last 2 years, the expectation is that all agents create events and set your events up in Super. And the reason for this is that when you have a dossier for promotion, that all of these items appear in your dossier. So if you're not doing this, we encourage you to begin doing this. I know a lot of you are already doing it. In some regions, it was a standard a few years ago. So if this is something that you're not engaged in, please begin doing this. It's very important for your appraisal piece. And your annual impact statements, you answered that question that impact statements are due for both base and your major program area. That is correct. That is correct. So base programming is anything outside of your knowledge areas that you have selected. Outcomes, you do outcomes for both as well for your main program area and base program. So don't forget that. That's very important piece in your appraisal as well as your dossier when that time rolls around. Evaluations are standard. You can't pull in outcomes that you want to. We encourage you to utilize the outcomes that are provided in Super. And we also encourage you to remember collective impact reporting. So you want to try to maximize the topics that you choose with fewer topics actually to maximize your program impact in your county.
All right, professionalism. Thank you to Justin for doing our Kahoot at the beginning of our session. And the majority did respond to clients' requests in a timely manner within 24 to 48 hours, unless you are on leave. And if you are on leave, we encourage you to put an out of office message on your email, especially just to let people know. And do let your coworkers know ahead of time if it will be an extended leave to give them a heads up. Regarding assignments, once those come out from each region, be at your assignment on time and ready for the task at hand. And we also recognize that conflicts may arise, so contact your region program leader, but also it's your responsibility to find a qualified replacement to fill your role at the event. Also, annually, we're asking you to develop SMART goals. And I hope all the FCS agents out there know SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and have a time deadline. And finally, utilize the Extension Marketing Toolkit guidance, as well as the FCS Marketing Toolkit for marketing and branding efforts. We could say more about professionalism. I think as far as appropriate dress and time management and that kind of thing, but these are the ones that we have focused on today. For professional development, it is the expectation of all agents to attend our biannual FCS Professional Development Conference. The next one will be in 2023. Also, regarding in-service trainings, please turn your cameras on during Zoom trainings. Justin, regarding when it's a face-to-face training or a Zoom meeting, what's the line about timeliness?
All right. My Eastern region folks know this. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're left. So we're going to move on. We ain't going to wait. So if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're left. Those of you with children, it works great with them as well. Just FYI.
We've been using that, I believe, for a long time in extension. I remember a 4-H agent in Coffee County who used to do that, who used to say that. So also devices away during face-to-face training. That could be your laptop, because you may be answering email versus Mary Jo Brinkman. Thank you, Belinda Riddle. Mary Jo Brinkman, I think, was the person who I heard that phrase from first. So yeah, she was a fabulous 4-H agent in Coffee County. That was the first time I heard her say early. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you are late, you will be left at 4-H camp. If you ever went to 4-H camp with her, it was really memorable. I could go off on a tangent, but I know those can be entertaining, but it would make us run long. So devices away during our face-to-face trainings, and also during Zooms, because I know you may have multiple screens in front of you that are asking for your attention, but do your best to stay focused on the presenter and minimize side conversations. I would say this in person as well as on Zoom meetings. Try to stay focused on, take notes if it helps you stay engaged. So also for professional development, we highly want you to engage in our Tennessee Extension Association for Family and Consumer Sciences in region, state, and national, as well as if you have the opportunity to participate in other FCS professional development groups. I know in Middle Tennessee, there's a Nashville area for family and consumer sciences. We need to advocate for family and consumer sciences however we can. So engaging in those professional development groups is a way to do that. It also helps make connections. All right, leadership teams. Now, this may not be the majority of people on this phone call. Some of you may have served on leadership teams, currently serving, or thinking about serving in the future. But before you apply to be on an FCS leadership team, the agent should have an IAA in the knowledge area that they have applied for. And this allows for experience with the programs and perspective that the specialists need. So once you are a member of the leadership team, fully participate. Use your voice to represent agents across the state. Your county experience and implementation of the programs is really valued on these leadership teams. So please speak up and use your voice to represent the county level. So as part of fully participating, they will have a leadership team retreat, which I may need to get this confirmed, but October 4th and 5th in Knoxville is potentially the date. And I say that because Merritt has left us and I'm not 100% sure, but they also have 90-day check-ins for this group to keep us moving toward our goals with leadership teams, as well as in-services offered by the leadership teams. If you're a part of those in-services, it's a great professional development opportunity, and we encourage you to do that. So as Justin mentioned, I wanted to say again, we do have these FCS agent expectations as a handout that we will email. And at this time, the region program leaders welcome your questions. You can send them, you can unmute and say them aloud, or you could send them to individual program leaders via chat, or to everyone via chat.
Well, that means we did a good job.
Oh,
no questions.
Yeah. And Dr. Fox did confirm, Dr. Fox confirmed in the chat that October 4th and 5th is the date for the leadership team. Thank you, Dr. Fox.
Thank you. I do have a question. As a program leader, what is the one area that you see that people excel in, and what is an area that you see that most people struggle in, and what kinds of advice do you have? Or is there no trend?
I think it varies from agent to agent. You have some
Dr. Fox?
You have some agents who come in with experience and they, you know, reign far better than some because of the experience they bring. And then you have some that have had experiences right in college, and they bring a different aspect. I would say it varies from agent to agent.
Dr. Fox, I will add to what Dr. Brookins said by saying what Mr. Perrin shared yesterday at camp planning with 4-H agents, and he shared with county directors this week as well. Now that we're back in face-to-face mode, it's less programmatic and maybe even not a normal habit for some folks. But now that we're more face-to-face mode than we've been in 2 years, it's been easy to jump from Zoom to Zoom and do a lot of things in one day, as opposed to maybe go to a meeting or to a regional assignment or to a regional event or in service. And he reminded, and we will echo it as program leaders in the Eastern region, that if you're assigned to a region event or if you have an in-service, don't plan something before or after that's going to require you to be late or ask to come or ask to leave early, because that should be your obligation for the day if you're signed up for an in-service or a training, or you're assigned to an event. So just keep that in mind as we get back to real face-to-face mode, serving clientele and doing regional events.
Very good. Anyone else? Any more questions? I have another question having to do with advisory committees. I know in talking to agents, sometimes that's an area where they struggle to get people to participate and come. And so if y'all have any good ideas in terms of recruitment or attendance with advisory committees, that would be great.
I'll take this one since you both answered the last one. I know advisory committees, since you have to do them annually, may seem repetitive, but just like our programs, you have to make it worth their time to show up. So doing the same thing every year can be repetitive, not only for you, but also for them. And I know our region has worked on kind of jazzing it up a little bit, doing different methods of needs assessment. You can, do different types of activities during those advisory groups. You don't have to make it solely about the advisory group. You could have 4-Hers come in and speak. You could share a program success with them, have them do part of a program that you've had success with. So they are aware of some of the programs that you have going on. So you don't have to make it solely about the needs assessment every time that they come in as an advisory group. Anything else to add?
Make it fun, like we've just done with Cahoots. We knew that this was a mundane topic, so we tried to interject some fun in it, and you could, change your meetings up, do some things like that. Jeopardy.
Anyone else? Of course, visibility is really important to one of my goals for our state FCS program. People don't know we do such amazing work across the state, and I'm not sure everybody's aware of the depth and the breadth of what we do. And so what ideas do you have regarding helping FCS to be more visible?
Market. Any place that you can, if you're out at a committee meeting, make people aware of what you're doing, make people aware of what you have coming up. Have opportunities where you are with grassroots organizations, share with those organizations what you're doing. I know a lot of you use social media. In a lot of small counties, you still can use the local paper. Use the local paper as a resource if you still have that available to you. Also, the radio spots, still newsletters and things. I still have agents who do newsletters for their partners once a month or once a quarter. So I would just say, market yourself. Every chance you get the word out about what you're doing. Encourage and talk to your coworkers in the county, make them aware of the programs that you're doing, Make it a team effort. You speak on behalf of the other programs in your county as they should be doing on your behalf as well. But you have to educate them on what you are doing so that they can speak on your behalf.
I'm going to
Thank you.
add, have that elevator speech ready. And we need to get into the habit of wearing our name tags again, or wearing our logo, like other businesses always have your logo if available. And start with your family. How many of you have family members who still don't know what you do? I mean, if that's you, start with them. And that way you can practice how you tell other people what it is that you do and who you work for, and they can tell if you are happy and proud of that work. So start with your family, and they can, when other people say, now what does Carla do? Then they can tell them. So there's people working for you for free. And then also, we mentioned using the marketing materials. Don't forget, any handout, anything that you're using, PowerPoint, social media, needs to have logos, and put your contact information on it, whether it's your name and email. When you have those handouts that you're using, make sure that the correct logos are on it when they go outside the office. Justin, did you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you're doing programming, a lot of times what we do when we deliver programs is we think about that time and that session. So we're doing this matter of balance class. We're doing this home buyer education class. We're doing this living well with chronic condition session. But think about the other things that you have coming up that those people or the people they're connected to they might benefit from, and you can share those things. I know Sarah Kite, I don't know if she's on today, but she has a great calendar where there's no dates on it. It's just months. And her major curriculum that she goes through with Living Well and Tai Chi and Matter of Balance and all the different programs she offers, it has those on there. So her community members know it goes across the community, and they see that, hey, well, there's a lot of stuff happening. And they've got extension month opportunities on there. So don't just think about what you've got to deliver today or this week. Think about what's coming up, that you can also say, hey, we do this as well, because we have so much to offer that we could probably work 7 days a week, but we don't encourage that. But think about what you can offer to folks beyond what you're doing today in that one class session.
We didn't
Yep.
mention, neither one of us, we failed to mention business cards. How many of you have current business cards, the newest business card? If you don't, you need to get those ordered and have those on you all the time so that you can pass those business cards out.
Hey, shout out to Kelsey and Chris in the chat box. Put the FCS Marketing Toolkit link. If you do not already have that bookmarked, here's your opportunity to click on that and bookmark it. And then Chris followed with the FCS branding is available as well. So use those. Both of those are the FCS Marketing Toolkit. So yes, bookmark those, use those.
We are so lucky compared to other program areas to have a creative content team that really provides some amazing resources for us to use. So there's lots of wonderful things in that toolkit, as well as just overall. So some very good comments in the chat if you haven't read them yet. But I think Lisa's mom thinks she does exercise. Of course, Dr. Sedges, her in-laws thought that she was a pediatrician, so maybe the little bit different doctor. And circling back a little bit is Lauren, when we were talking about advisory committees, she shared that virtual or hybrid meetings work just as well, as especially now, and that some of her members are not ready to come back face to face, but that's a way to get them included. So that's very good. So I appreciate all the comments in the chat. That's great. I just want to circle it back to the regional program leaders and end with a couple, one sentence or so advice to the people that are participating in FACS FACS today.
I'll start, let Dr. Brookins and Carla think real quick. I would just say, always keep us informed. Let us know what's happening. Let us know when you're running into roadblocks. Communication is the key. So if we don't know, we can't help.
My word of advice, so words of wisdom would be professionalism. Represent yourself in a very professional manner in the office, in the community, so that people will respect you as an educator.
I amen both of those. And we'll add, and my region hears me say this a lot, I want healthy, happy agents. So I see my role as a program leader is to help you get the resources that you need to do your work in the county that you are called to do. So do communicate, represent yourself and the university that we represent well, and take care of yourself and be healthy, happy individuals and love your work. Yeah, that would be my advice.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Great job and very informative. And I know expectations are one of those critical pieces of our job that as long as we know them, we can achieve them. So can you see the FACS PowerPoint? Okay, I do see some shaking of the head. So, well, we'd like to thank our regional program leaders for helping us better understand FACS and agent expectations. And next up, we're going to have Shelley Barnes, who will talk about the State Fair Quilt Project.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fox, for letting me speak today. First of all, I want to thank all of you that participated in the FCE Quilt Project that is wrapping up, and we're going to deliver those quilts to FC members that were affected by the natural disasters in West Tennessee. We're going to take those in April. So I'm excited to be going with Wanda Riddell, our former FC president, to deliver those. So just wanted to say thank you. We are working on a state fair quilt. And if some of you may remember back in the 80s, FCE led the effort to create a needlepoint. Isn't that right, Mary Beth? I can see your picture, so let me know. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly. So they made a needlepoint quilt in the shape of Tennessee, and each county was represented on there, and they had a design that was related to what their county was known for at the time. Our fair leaders, and of course y'all know that I'm in Wilson County, so with the Wilson County Fair and now the Tennessee State Fair, the leaders there had gone to the Crossville 4-H camp, and they had seen this quilt and thought that it was wonderful. And there might be one at this. Is there one at the state office? The one I'm talking about is at the Crossville 4-H camp, Dr.
The original needlepoint is at the state office, and paintings of the needlepoint are at each of the 4-H camp centers.
Wow, I did not know that. That's exciting. Okay, see, learn something every day. I got a wrinkle in my brain. That's very exciting. Okay, so anyway, many of y'all know what I'm talking about. So they had viewed the painting then, right, Carla, at the Crossville camp, and were very excited, wanted to know the origin, and of course, wanted to make a new one. And the new one will be displayed at the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair, at the James E. Ward Ag Center, eventually in the Made of Tennessee exhibits building when that is done. So it will be done this year, the quilt at least, and it will be temporarily displayed in whatever building we're using for that, if our building does not get done. Because, anyway, so what I'm asking of you is to help us get this done. I have heard from so many of you, and I appreciate you. And I also know that we're all busy, and I know that it's one more thing. But we don't necessarily want you to do it, especially if you're like me and you do not possess that skill set. That is fine. we want you to, at the very minimum, help design your county. I don't live in your county. I don't work in your county. I don't know all about your county. We want people from the county to design what it should be. And all of it. We want you to work with a volunteer, hopefully, that does possess this skill set and is able to create this quilt block for your county. We'll give you all the supplies, we'll give you all the instructions. And at the end of the day, if you don't have someone that can complete it, just work with me in coming up with the design, and we will find someone to do it for you. So if you have not, let me know. If you have not told me that you want to participate, please shoot me an email so I can get everything to you. We really hope to get this done. Our fair is in August, and it will take our volunteers a little bit of time to get it together, but it will be beautiful. So that's all I have, unless you all have questions. It's exciting.
Any questions?
Shelley, what are the dates in August? I'm sorry. Do you know?
I do know.
I can look it up. That's okay.
No, I'm going to tell you right now because it's on my calendar. And I should have those in my head, but the fair for me is a little while away. Our Tennessee State Fair is August 18th, and opening night is on a Thursday the 18th, and it wraps up on the 27th of August. So a Thursday through Saturday.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Shelley? I will say, if you haven't been, it's a great event for sure.
Thank you, Dr. Fox.
Thank you, Shelley, so much. We appreciate it. Next, we're going to welcome some people to our family, as well as acknowledge some transfers. So in the Eastern region, Lindsay Russell is our new FCS agent in Hancock County. And so I really appreciate Justin and the team getting someone wonderful hired in Hancock County. Yeah, and he's cheering. And then we had some changes to the Western region, in that we had Annette Cole move from Stewart to Houston, and Jenny Smith from Perry to Decatur. And you'll see those transition dates. Annette has already moved, and Jenny will be moving, but we appreciate, and it's exciting that they'll be bringing their knowledge and experience to another county to share and support those FCS programs. And finally, at the state level, and I know she's on today, Emily Ellis is joining us. She's an Extension Assistant 1 for the Farmer and Rancher Stress Assistance Network. And so we're glad to have some help and support for that network and the important things that they're doing. So if you see these individuals, please let them know that they're welcome in our regions, in our state, and across our state. So guess what we've been talking about a little bit is with the TEA FCS, and TEA stands for Tennessee Extension Association of Family and Consumer Sciences Conference. And so Megan is on today, Megan Brown, who's one of the co-chairs, and she's just going to take it away and encourage y'all to go to the conference. And we do, now's the time for y'all to put on the, what are they called?
Fascinators.
They're called what?
Fascinators.
Fascinators.
I don't have mine. I have a stuffed bunny though. Let's see if that works. So, I don't have mine with me. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we're having a conference in Johnson City. We've been sending out lots of reminders, and I hope we've not been too annoying. But I'll tell you, after every reminder, we saw those numbers creep up. So that just encouraged us to keep on sending those out. So from the Kahoot quiz, you see down here at the bottom that March 13th, that's Sunday. And so I know you don't want to be worrying about that on the weekend. So when we sign off the meeting today, if you've not registered, just go right ahead. You can pay by PayPal, and I'll drop the link to the website that you can go straight and get registered. We have a great event planned, and I know there are so many on here that have worked on this. It has been a full team effort, and Crystal has worked super hard on this, so I wish she was here to talk about it, but we're going to start with a garden party. So that's where you'll get those fascinators out and get ready to relax and be with us there. And then we have our mobile workshops the next day. And I don't know if you've heard about this little thing called the Mountain Gala that I am so excited about. And we invite you, if you want to dress to the nines in formal wear that night, we invite you to. If you want to not, that's okay too. So however you want to come to the gala, we just welcome you in. We are just so excited to be together. We're getting up there in numbers, so we're really excited that we're going to have such a large group be there. And then we're going to close out with brunch on the last day and have a speaker that's also a storyteller. Storytelling is that's a known up in that area of the region. It's beautiful. If you've never been there before, I myself, before Extension, we traveled, I live in Southeast Tennessee, so we would go to the Smokies and then not go too much further up. And so after I started working for Extension is when I started exploring that Upper East area, and I just absolutely love it. And so we invite you to come over our way. And if we have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And I know we've got several people on here that have worked hard on it, so I'm sure they can answer your questions too.
Anybody have any questions or for Megan or updates from other committee members?
And I went ahead and dropped that registration link. So if you need to click on it now after the meeting, you can.
Dr. Fox, I think we've got a group that's stationed in Blount County that needs to show off fascinators for anybody that has some questions.
So can y'all talk, or so you become on the screen, so to speak?
There we go. Ta-da. What do you think?
I think y'all are a great looking group.
Oh, more. I'll put another one on.
I wanted to confirm with Sheila Hobby this morning. Yesterday, Jim Stewart signed up for TEA FCS conference and he used his travel card. So you can use your travel card to pay for TEA FCS conference because, and this is the important part, according to Sheila, the TEA FCS treasurer provides you with a receipt. The PayPal receipt will not do. You have to use the TEA FCS treasurer's receipt that is emailed to you after you register. So hopefully that is great news, because that PayPal receipt is a little, it doesn't go through our system, but the one that's provided once you register. So use those travel cards.
Very good. Thank you. That's always so important. So thank you. We have a couple program highlights. I think I like for us to know a little bit more about what's going on across the state. So I will give kind of information we're doing Farm Family Health and Wellness, and it's up next. And then if our Financial Friday people want to say a word or two, that's cool. And if any of our Farm Family team wants to say anything, but I just wanted to share, we've wrapped up and people are still, they have till March 15th to finalize watching the videos to be eligible for the Tennessee Ag Enhancement Funds. But as you can read up here, it really seems to have made a difference with some people. I mean, the first comment was, my husband and dad have a very strained relationship, and this gave me ideas to open communication to help rebuild the relationship. And you can read on. And for those of you that might not be familiar, it's an educational series that's part of the master programs that are offered. And they've been Zoom-based webinars this time. So any of our Farm Family Health and Wellness team want to say anything? I saw Lisa and Carla and Matt and Heather. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. I know Kristen was one of our presenters.
I think we are off to a great start for a first year. We learned a lot, and We had really good participants, and I'm excited about what we'll do for 2023.
Chris was one of the presenters. Very good. And if you have any feedback, we'll be, Frank is running the evaluations. And so if you have any feedback that you'd like to share or suggestions, please direct that information towards Dr. Frank or myself. Carla's the chair of the evaluation committee as well. So any kind of feedback where we can do a better job or make some enhancement. But I agree, it's gone off really well. Any other comments? Financial Fridays. Does somebody want to volunteer from the Western region to talk about Financial Fridays, or Dr. Sneed? I know you've been a part of that as well. I've attended one of the sessions, and they were very insightful and informative. This cluster concept that people are working together is very neat, because I think it brings out the talents of everyone on the team, whether it's geographic clusters or subject matter clusters. It's really good.
I'll just say that I'll echo that, Dr. Fox, and say the team did an amazing job. I think it is such an effective use of technology, the way that they can deliver this educational program across county lines and have folks that can just zoom in, watch, and then be able to zoom out without travel time. And it's been an honor to present and be with these folks. And great job, Western Region. Job well done.
Else? I also wanted to thank you. FCS was very well represented with the strategic plan. And so I really want to thank those of you that took the time to sign up. And I want to, ahead of time, commend you for the amount of time you're willing to give. When we talk about demonstrating the value of Tennessee Extension to enhance resources, Karen Frank, Heather Sedges, and Tawny Wittenbarger were part of that, are going to be part of that team. We talk about fostering greater engagement in diverse communities across Tennessee. Egla Lopez is one of the co-chairs, Karen Sargent, Kevin Treadway, and Elizabeth Sanders. Shelley Barnes is co-chairing the Expand and Strengthen Tennessee Volunteers, and joining her is Lisa Washburn and Connie Meyer. And Dr. Devereaux is co-chairing the Cultivate a Workspace Where Employees Thrive. And on that committee as well as Michelle Atkins, Kristen Johnson, Young Lim, Natalie Owens, Deanna Poole, and Lamanda Weston. And then we have Rita Jackson and Elizabeth Renfro, who are serving on the Technology and Innovation Committee to identify evolving needs for Tennessee Extension. So thank you very much. And we look forward to a great participation and engagement. And so I want to just thank you for today. I did have, I thought on here, let me go back. Oh, here's the Food Waste Awareness Week. I did want Dr. Johnson to talk about the Food Waste Awareness Week. And I know she's on today.
Hey, good morning, and thank you, Dr. Fox, for the opportunity to speak with you about Food Waste Awareness Week. For just a minute, I know I'll make this short. I think many of you have received a lot of emails from me about this, but I'm really, really excited for the opportunity to work with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation on their very first Food Waste Awareness Week in Tennessee, and that's really coming up soon. It's hard to believe that April is almost here, so that'll be that week of April 4th through 9th. So during this week, it'll be an opportunity to highlight issues around food waste and, really importantly, to inspire other people to take action. And so I will hopefully today or early next week be able to send some information and share that about how we can use our resources to highlight these issues. We're also hosting and working along with them on a statewide food drive so that we can not only share information about food waste, but also take the opportunity to address food insecurity in Tennessee. I am so excited and thrilled to say that we almost have 45 locations just in Extension who are participating across the state. I was just really blown away for this very first year that we're doing it. So those who are participating, you received a lot of information from me a few days ago to help you as you work in this on this project, and know that you'll be continuing to receive information that'll help you with evaluation, because it's going to be really important to share our success, both for you and the county, us as Extension, but also the whole committee that's planning Food Waste Awareness Week. So we really appreciate your support with that. And you'll just be receiving additional information soon as you go. But I'll stop there. There's a lot more I could say. I'm so excited about this, but I don't know if there's time for questions. If there are, I'm happy to answer them, or please feel free to always email me because we want to support you on this.
Any questions for Dr. Johnson? And Lauren is reminding us. Lauren, do you want to remind people about the Healthy Lifestyles March?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Just a reminder, I'm sure you all received the email about the Move More for Extension Month challenge. We're just asking for you to upload some videos and photos of yourself, just taking some move breaks, sometime during the day. My idea of moving is I have an alarm set where I'll get up and do 25 squats, just, randomly set throughout the day. So just send in some pictures and videos of yourself moving some. We're trying to promote, not so much sitting. You can do some yoga in your chair, just some stretches, hip circles, chest stretches, things like that. Check your email for the flyer that came out earlier this week. It was on Monday, actually, from the Healthy Lifestyles Initiative. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. And we did have some questions in the chat about the TEAFCS conference registration. Megan put in the chat to check your registration if you need to with Lucy, but that you should be okay in terms of a receipt, a mailed receipt. Any other announcements for the good? Well, thank y'all for being on. Thank our regional program leaders for presenting and providing a great foundation for y'all to have a successful year. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day and weekend.